Welcome to all. My name is Daniel Sigoli. I'm a program officer at Privacy Rules. And today I'm joined by Kristina Fosgaard, communication consultant and the partner at NetProfile, which is a Finnish communication company specialized in crisis and strategic communication, technology, and cybersecurity. Welcome, Kristina.
Thank you, Daniel, very much. Happy to be here.
Kristina is also going to join us during the Arctic 15 event, which is going to be held on the 2nd of June. She's going to speak at 10 a.m. Helsinki time. And then also later in the afternoon at an event held by Lexia, focused on startups. So the topic of today's Privacy Espresso is the importance of crisis communication during cyber crisis. Let me start by asking you the first question, Kristina. Why it's so important for any business to achieve a solid situational intelligence and awareness in order to protect reputation?
Well, let me first explain situational intelligence. Because all crises are very high pressure situations and you need strategy to help you out. But situational intelligence is the ability to read and respond effectively to a situation at hand. And if you are not prepared for that, and if you don't have a strategy to begin with, and it's all about communicating to all the stakeholders that are involved in the crisis, you are in deep trouble, because then you have no control what is happening in that situation. So situational awareness and situational intelligence on top of that is it's a talent. It's a talent actually that you can you gather data, you know what kind of data you need, and you at all times understand where the ball is and where you want it to go next. So definitely it's situational awareness is the key in understanding how to get out of the situation where you are.
Okay, thank you very much. Then my second question for you is communication expertise is crucial while managing cyber crisis. Can you make two examples where a communication expert really made the difference during a crisis?
I can do better. I can do three. How about
That's perfect.
that?
Even
okay.
better.
First of all, when you are in a new situation, how do you label it? What has happened and how do you label it? That's where the communication starts, because you have to have the right name for it. And you have to communicate with the goal team, with the crisis team about what it is actually that has happened. So communication starts right from there. Of course, it's all about what you say, but the next step is about whether you are reactive or proactive. So communication is all about taking the upper hand of the situation and deciding when we are going to say something and what we are going to say to those people. So proactivity sometimes is something that they don't think, but that can make a difference if you have the upper hand. And then I think the third thing, what communications usually brings to the table, is the awareness and understanding whose trust do we need and whose trust is vital to our business. And that is understanding the different stakeholders and they need in particular situation. So it's all about the situational awareness thing, but it's also about taking the upper hand, and usually proactivity is something that I think we bring the most value, because it's something that usually you don't think. You just want to be responsive, and that usually is where you start failing.
Okay, thank you very much. Then I'm going toward my last question, which is a more extensive one, I would say. To what extent to what extent preparation and readiness is important to safeguard business value?
Well, If you think about reputation, first of all, it's I think this is crucial to understand that you can decide on your brand, how your brand is and what it's communicating. But in the end of the day, reputation is something that you earn. It's not what you say about yourself, it's how others say, how others see you and what they say about you. That's reputation. So how do you safeguard something that is not in your own hands? That is crucial to understand. But without, and if the others see you and do not trust you, your brand value becomes more like a zero. So if you lose the confidence of your personnel, your clients, your investors, maybe the public turns against you, you might not have a business. So safeguarding reputation, of course, it's a long project. You need to start, when you start building your company and when you run a company, your only mission as a business leader is to create value and take care of your reputational capital, because that's the capital that actually is, in some cases, measured in stock market, because that's all about reputation. How do people see you and your value now and maybe in the future? So if you lose that, you actually lose your business. So how do you safeguard that in a situation where you are in a sort of a war? Because the crisis is a war situation. And of course, in that situation, you have to be on top of the situation. You have to understand the stakeholders and their needs and be very proactive most of the time to make sure that they can keep trusting on you. And if they don't trust you or they lose their trust, then you're gone. But the more you have reputational capital, so my advice is that you need to continuously build reputational capital and understanding the risks that you might face, prepare for those risks. So of course you want to mitigate the risk, but understanding what kind of risks you have in business, especially in cyber crisis area, what kind of risks do you have? So making the scenarios for different risks is just pure good business. And then preparing for those, to training, you have communication strategy, you have a crisis management strategy and procedures, how to work on those. And in a very high pressure situation, you are not very creative. You just have to act on a sort of a lot of previously decided methods and procedures, because they help you and they give you that extra boost where you need to actually be a bit more creative and outbound to different kinds of situations. So with the training, premeditated sort of scenarios and questions and answers, issues management in place, you are in much better position when the shit hits the fan. And you know, a lot of times we say that it's not if it hits, it's when it hits. And that's why everyone is just, if you want to make good, or if you want to run a good business, you have to be prepared for those cybersecurity risks, whether they are in a privacy area or other areas, because they will hit you.
Okay, Christina, thank you very, very much for your contribution today. For those of you watching the recorded version, this is our goodbye. We invite you for the next Privacy Espresso. And thanks for joining us. Take care and stay safe.